Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to CCRL. Tonight is the Pro Tier. They are taking on the 4.309 kilometer circuit with 15 corners at Autódromo Jose Carlos Pace, and it has two DRS zones. It's going to be off the exit of turn 15 down into the center S's of turn 1, and then off Curva do Sol all the way down into turn 4. Those will be your two passing opportunities here in the Pro Tier. Tonight we do have some dry qualifying and dry race weather, as they are doing a new experiment here with the forecast prior to race day. But I do look forward to seeing the action they're going to put on the circuit, as now they know what the weather is going to be, so they don't have to prep for, either wet here or dry. But let's get in here on the points. So the standings after Portugal, we got LB the Go up top, leading with 154 points, and Silos in second in that kick Sauber with 150. 4 points right behind. Close battle between them two. Definitely a nice little rivalry going on in the Discord. Hear them chit-chatting about as well. We got Natural sitting in P3 in the points with the Mercedes. 99 points, and then right behind him is Raptor KK there, kind of been the sleeper in the McLaren with 93 points in fourth. De Boonster in fifth in the Ferrari with 86 points. You got Peak Hour in sixth in the Alpine with 80. Or no, sorry, De Boonster has 86. Peak Hour has 83. Comacopa in seventh in the Williams with 80. Mr. Miller in 8th in the Ferrari with 79. Osmanian Devil in 9th with 57. And Modern Thai, a newcomer here in the Pro Tier, rounds out your top 10 with 53 points. So that is your top 10 there in the points. Let's pull up the telemetry, the track map here. As we can see, some folks here are already out on circuit, making their way through Sector 2. Really pushing hard on those tires. We get into constructors here before they jump off the exit of the final corner. We got the Sauber with 187 leading, Red Bull with 173, Ferrari with 165, Mercedes 152, Williams 119, 115 for McLaren, Alpine 99, 73 for Haas, Aston Martin 29, and the Racing Bulls with 9 points. But down through turn 1, Jameson Goose is making his way through turn 2 now, off the exit of Curva del Sol. And he's going to run down this DRS straight in towards turn 4. Good opportunity for passing. Top speed at about 186 miles per hour down into 4th gear. Making his way up through the fast right-hander here. Very easy to lose the back end of the car if you get too much onto that inside curve. And it looks like he's running through nice and smoothly into, I believe that is turn 8 and 9 now. 9, yeah. And now up the hill into turn 10, which is Pico de Pato. And down into Juncao. And off the exit of turn 12 we go up the hill, and he's going to make his way towards the start-finish line here to set a provisional lap. And a lap to look at. Comes across the line at 112 and immediately topped by the Red Bull behind at a 108.8. So next one to come across the line is going to be IRZ at a 109.9. Then we got the Sauber here. This is Silos. He's up to P2 with a 109.5. Silos tends to run a little bit extra fuel, so that does. And Osmanian Devil gets really loose there going into turn 1. Raptor inside the top 10 for the time being. He is dropping quickly though, as the Boonster shoots himself up to the top in the front row alongside LB the GOAT. And he's only a tenth off for the time being. Everybody really slowing down here on the straight as they're making their way into turn 4. Letting the Williams by, I believe, but not exactly sure why. And the Mercedes of Natural beginning a lap down into turn 1 in 4th gear off the exit of 2. We go through 3. Gonna open up the DRS flap as he makes his run down into turn 4 as his teammate comes out of pit lane. And into turn 4 we go. Down into 5th gear, riding a lot of that inside curve. Purple sector 1 heading up the hill. Making our way through turn 7, now into turn 8, the hairpin down the hill into another hairpin of turn 9. And he's going to make his way towards Bico de Pato of turn 10. Into 3rd gear, nice exit. And through sector 2 split. Is he going to have a purple sector 2? 53.2 through sector 2. Off the exit we go, making his way towards the DRS zone. He's going to open it up in about 100 meters. He's got a wide open heading towards the line, tucks it to the inside. Stays, no, he rides out to the middle, and that's going to cost him some time there. Down to P8. He is on the board with a 109.8. Modern Tie looks like he's just beginning a lap going through turn 1 off the exit of Curve de, I believe that's Curve de Sol. Yeah, making his way in towards turn 4 here of Discreta do Lago. And now he's going to carry up towards Ferradura of turn 6. And Curva de I don't know how to say that. We won't attempt. Now through 8 into 9, and he's up through the gears into 5th gear, heading into Bico de Pato, and now down the hill through sector 2, and it looks like a 52.3, maybe quicker. No, I think he's a little bit slower, 10 slower than his teammate there, as he's now making his way off the exit. He's gonna open up the DRS flap, tucks it to the inside, burns the rest of the overtake across the line, takes your provisional pole with a 108.5. He's got 3 2.5 tenths on LB the GOAT there in P2. Modern Tie is showing he's a force to be reckoned with here in the Pro Tier with LB the GOAT there contending with Silos, and Modern Tie has worked his way inside the top 10 in the point, trying to make his way up to contend with these guys out the front, but as long as they keep getting consistent results, it's going to be pretty difficult for Modern Tie to do that, as we're looking at Silos making his way off the exit of turn 12, and now he might be getting ready to run a lap, or he might be low on fuel heading into pit lane, sitting at a 109.4, and he does dive into pit lane. Okay, right behind him as well, Raptor is making his way off the exit of turn 12, low on fuel. Silo, that was Osmanian Devil. Comacopa is currently not on a lap. Natural is on a lap, making his way through turn 11, now through sector 2, really off on his time here. I'm sure he's probably heading towards pit lane, but IRZ just beginning a lap down into turn 1, the Senna S's we go. He's making his way through Curve de Sol, and now he's going to open up that DRS flap heading in towards Discreta do Lago. And then up the hill towards Ferradura, he is a purple sector 1. Not sure how much he was up on his time, but he is heading through Ferradura now. And turn 7, keeps the car under control, making his way through turn 9. Back up the hill towards Bico de Pato. And through 11 across sector, whoa, what happened there? 3/10 up on his time, heading through turn 14. Now 15 right in front of him. He burns all of the ERS, making his way towards the line. Does he improve? He improves 28 hundredths of a second there, so that's going to put him up into the P12 position. A little bit of a leap for him. I believe Komakopa just came across the line. Indeed he did, up into P7. So Williams sitting there nice and tight in P6 and 7. De Boonster and Mr. Miller, the two Ferraris, P3 and 4, so they might be able to do some teamwork on the Mercedes in Red Bull in front of them. Bongit currently diving into pit lane. Jotty down here in P16, not on a lap anymore. Agnote currently on a lap, running down into turn 4, nearly a second up on his time as he's making his way off the exit of 5, up towards Ferradura of turn 6. We got a yellow flag in sector 2, not exactly sure what's going on here. And it doesn't seem to be, it looks like it's all resolved now as they're making their way through 10. Agnote in towards Bico de Pato and off the exit, heading down the hill through 11. He's not burning much ERS, he's at about 50%. Sector 2 split, 3.5 up on his time, off the exit of 4, or off the exit of 12, sorry. I did a 12-hour shift today. And opens up the DRS flap. Across the line we go, and he's gonna leap up the board into that P17 position. So Agnote found a lot of time there on that lap, but not enough to really move him up. IRZ here burning that ERS 6% here as he's making his way into turn 4. Not exactly sure if he's really on a lap or what's going on, but got no battery to play with. Osmanian Devil just came out of pit lane. Raptor is getting ready to start a lap. Silos making his way towards the line. A lot of talk from him, and he's 4 points out from the championship with LB Goat here up in that P2 position. But Silos down into turn 1 of the Senna S's through 2, now through Curva de Sol. Off the exit, got that DRS flap wide open, burning the ERS down the straight. 42 thousandths of a second up on his time, through turn 4. Now 5 heading up the hill, gonna make his way through Ferradura here. As we're heading through turn 7, keeps the car well under control into turn 8, down into second gear. Now all the way through turn 9 there, back up the hill and through Pico de Pato. Into second gear we go, back on the throttle down the hill. He's got 75% battery to play with as he's making his way. He's 1,000ths down on his time, he's not improving. Off the exit, 70% battery. He's going to burn all this ERS as he's making his run towards the line. DRS flap wide open, tucks it to the inside. No, he does not. It's 30, wow, 3.5 up on that one, all the way up into P4. But nobody in Modern Thai is struggling here off the exit of turn 12. But like I was saying, nobody has really closed that gap yet to Modern Thai. Maybe LB the Goat can do it as he's making his way down the straight here. 800 up on his time here through turn 4. But and now through Ferradura and through turn 5, and now into turn 8 we go. Oh man, I'm way off with my numbers and names tonight. I'm sorry guys. Through Pico de Pato and now through that's Merguo into Junkau, and now gonna make his way off the exit of 13. He's got a purple sector 2. Is he closing the gap to Modern Thai? Gonna open up the DRS flap. 5, 4, 3, 2% ERS left across the line, and a new provisional pole with a 108.4 by LB the Goat. And now is Modern Thai gonna be able to top that here as he's making his way Off the exit, is he gonna be looking to burn the rest of the ERS? Got that DRS flap wide open and diving in the pit lane. Osmanian Devil here through Pico de Pato, not doing anything. Bonnet just comes across the line and puts himself into P6. Natural going into pit lane. Peak Hour not out. Okay. Currently not on a lap. Coma Copa not on a lap. IRZ just coming out, I think. Raptor might be currently on a lap, and yes, the McLaren is on a lap, burning that ERS. Got the DRS flap wide open, a little late on that button there. Down the straight, he is 100th up on his time here through Discrete del Lago. Now making his way up the hill towards Ferradura, as he's going to come through turn 6 into turn 7, really wide there through turn 7, now into 8 we go, nice and tight on the apex through turn 9 as we go back up the hill into Pico de Pato. Down into third gear, really nice off the apex. Here comes the McLaren back down the hill. Is he gaining time in sector 2? He is not. He's 2/10 off on his time. Off the exit to turn 12 we go. And he's going to make a run towards the line. He's not going to have much ERS to really play with here. And he really flies that car to the outside and dives it right in the pit lane there, as he was not too happy with his time. GC Adventure invalidated. Osmanian Devil's not on a lap. Okay, currently on a lap, making his way into Pico de Pato into second gear. Off the exit we go. Got this car well under control down through the hill, cross sector 2 split, 3.5 tenths up on his time here. This would nearly put him, actually this could bump him right inside the top 5 if he really holds this improvement on the time. DRS flap wide open, extremely close here, midfield all the way back. And the field just gets closer. Okay, goes up into P3 with a 108.8. And the field is only separated by 0.6 of a second from P3 all the way down to P14. What a grid we have here tonight in the Pro Tier. And you got a battle for the pole position. And you got the rest of the field all separated. So, you know, just that small improvement can really bring you up through the grid here, as Peak Hour is currently on a lap, I believe. Opens up the DRS flap, hits the outside curb. That is compromising, and he's weaving down the straight, even more compromising. 2.5 tenths on his time here, and he invalidates. Unfortunately, you want to try and just stick with the racing line, and unfortunately he invalidates. Mr. Miller making his way through turn 8 down the hill into turn 9. He's going to run up the hill. The Ferraris here are holding nice and tight. Earlier here in the qualifying session, we got about a minute left. Everybody's going to be pushing to get their final runs out here in the qualifying session. Purple sector 2, Mr. Miller 2/10 up on his time. He can leap himself up inside the top 5 here with an improvement as he's coming across towards the line. Opens up the DRS flap. You want to keep this car tucked to the inside by the pit lane wall. Indeed he does, across the line. And unfortunately he does not improve enough to get up inside the top 5. He was on pace for it, but Mr. Miller unfortunately has dropped down to P10. And it looks like Peak Hour getting ready to start his final run. Jotty sitting in pit lane. IRZ currently out here on a lap. Let's find the McLaren here. This is Agnote coming across the line. He's not on a lap. So IRZ will be the next one across the line here as he's running down into Junkow. Off the exit we go up the hill. He's going to get the DRS here in a moment, about 100 meters. He's going to open it wide up, burning the rest of the ERS. 1% battery left, tucks it to the inside wall across the line. Improvement up into that P12 position. Looking for a Haas here. Who is this going to be? Osmanian Devil off to the inside wall. LK coming across the line now. He's going to improve, not improving. And Modern Tie invalidated. Unfortunately, where's the other Mercedes? Natural improved, but not enough to get up there. But we got to, wow, the time's getting really close here. Osmanian Devil struggling through qualifying. Who's next coming across the line? We got Peak Hour as he's going to come across the line now. LB the GOAT, new pole sitter. Peak Hour up into the P6 with a 108.8. And now we got another Haas. This is going to be Osmanian Devil. Unfortunately, nothing. Silos with nothing. And everybody else. So that is your qualifying, ladies and gentlemen, here at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace. LB the GOAT takes your pole position alongside the Mercedes Modern Tie, who also had a same lap time as the Boomster, but since Modern Tie put it down first, he will take it with a 108.580 natural, sitting there in P4 with a 108.699, so times are extremely close at the top. LK 108.8, Peak Hour 108.8, Silos 109 flat, Osmanian Devil 109 flat. Rivalry between Silos and Osmanian Devil. They're going to be starting alongside here in row 4. You got the Williams teammates in the same time here at the 109.1s in P9 and 10. Mr. Miller with a 109.2. The qualifying was extremely close here for the Pro Tier. I mean, you look at, like, besides LB having a amazing last lap, you look at this qualifying grid, and I mean, anything can happen. It's going to be a run down into turn 1, and whoever comes out alive. I'm excited for this one. So with that close qualifying, we're going to have a fantastic Grand Prix here. We do have a dry Grand Prix. You have a couple options for tire choices. You can go with the softest compound of the soft tire and go to mediums. But you're going to be running extra long on both stints. You can go hard tires to mediums. Which probably going to be a little bit better overall race pace for you, and then also any safety cars pending. Fuel wise, you want to save, but yeah, this is going to be a fantastic Grand Prix here. 36 laps around Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace in Sao Paulo, Brazil. I'm Johnny Damon, and I will be right back with you. Alright, folks, I got the 1 minute warning here. We're getting our countdown, getting ready to go back racing. I'm excited for this Grand Prix as we got a dry Grand Prix, 36 laps of fantastic racing here from the Pro Tier. Always exciting each and every week. I know some weeks I'm unfortunately unable to make it due to work and other obligations, but I'm here tonight and that's what matters, because these guys have put on a show for qualifying and now they're about ready to put on a show here for the Grand Prix. So I hope y'all are excited and ready to go. You got your popcorn, you got your beer or soda, whatever you can drink, and you're ready for this one. Even your ice cream and your brownie. I saw somebody there in the Discord was hoping to eat their ice cream and brownie before qualifying. But, oh, that was natural. Hope you got it. But anyways, we got 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And the lights are out and away we go. We're up in the front. It looks like Modern Ty struggled off the start alongside him. Gonna be the Ferrari as we're making our way into the Senna S's. LB the GOAT got away nicely. Silos and Osmanian Devil side by side through Curvy del Sol. Osmanian Devil's gonna come out up top. He gained 1 position on the start. Coma Copa up to 9th already. IRD gets by Bongit, making our way into the Street de Lago. IRD down the inside of Bongit, and it looks like he's going to hold on to position. Everybody making their runs up into Ferradura. And we got a nice single file line here from the Pro Tier. Fantastic start already. Everybody within DRS. Raptor. Oh no, Raptor struggle here in the back. But he's not too far behind. He is going to be able to catch back up, hopefully, with this group. In the meantime, Natural's falling off this train in front as we're making our way through Juncal off the exit of turn 12, back off the hill, heading towards lap 1 completion. LB the GOAT, 7/10 out front. DeBoonster putting the attack on the Mercedes in front of him. Of Modern Ty riding on board with him as we're making our way towards the Senna S's. In the meantime, we're going to pull up the tires, and it looks like the Booster drives a little deep there. The Booster on soft tires, so he is looking to gain positions quickly. Got a bunch of medium tire runners here, and then some more soft tires, and only 1 hard. Matthew going on the hard. Here are the possible race strategies: soft to medium, soft to hard. And that will be your strategies here at the Sao Paulo, Brazil Grand Prix. Position changes already off the start on lap 2. We got Peak Hour up 1, Osmanian Devil up 1, IRD up 2. A switch of positions here between Mr. Miller and Jotty, and it looks like Miller is going to get through into that P12 position, but he is still down 1 position here on the start. But in the meantime, LB the GOAT has pulled out a full second over Modern Ty, and now DeBoonster is got the DRS, and he's about to put the attack on with these soft tires, and that's the key here at Brazil. Right on board alongside him, behind him, and off he goes to the races towards the Senna S's here, and LB the GOAT with the fastest lap. Bongit's going to make his way alongside and by IRZ. Jotty, Mr. Miller made contact here in the middle of the Senna S's. Both of them are around and might potentially head to the steward's room. Up toward the front, Osmanian Devil and LK swapping positions. A little switch from LK. Contact made between the 2 Haas teammates as they're heading up towards Ferradura. Osmanian Devil's putting the attack on. Coma Copa now working through with the Williams in towards turn 8. Still a big train here for the midfield. Natural. Modern Ty is trying to stick with DeBoonster. DeBoonster's gotten back within DRS. Modern Ty is falling out, but he does have a full second over Natural. Peak Hour here is looking to maybe attack down the start-finish straight in towards turn 1. As he's going to get the DRS. Half a second back. He's going to open up. He's not really burning that ERS, but he is going to continue to follow behind as they make their way in towards the Senna S's. LK right behind. Not a lot of action going on or movement. Raptor's gonna make his way around the outside of Matthew into turn 1 and off to the races he goes. Anyoche makes his way by Mr. Miller. And Modern Tie has caught back up to the booster here. He was outside of a second. Now he's back underneath a half a second, making their way through Ferradura. In the meantime, this midfield's got a pretty big train from P4 all the way down into P11, all within a half a second or so, as they're making their way up towards Bico de Pato. And Modern Tie's trying to hang on to that DRS. GC Adventure with a big mistake off the exit of turn 7, looking to get back onto the circuit. And now we're carrying our speed down the start-finish straight, peak hour, DRS one more time. Trying to close up to the back of the Mercedes in front of him. But Comacopa is looking to make a move here, and Comacopa does just that. Osmanian Devil's trying to put the attack on his Haas teammate, and they both kind of go off the circuit. Down the straight, Osmanian Devil down the inside of his teammate. And is it going to be another switcheroo? Yes, it is. Again, contact between the two cars. And LK gets pushed off the circuit with a 3-second time penalty. As they're all carrying their way through turn 8 and 9 now. See here, any movement potentially about to happen down the start-finish straight. Your top three is kind of separated here. Modern Tie seems they've gotten a really good exit off of Junkyao. But Natural, here comes Peak Hours much closer this time down the start-finish straight. Gonna close up to the back. Is he gonna be looking to make a move down the inside into turn 1 of the Senna S's? Peak Hour has now taken over that P4 position. We've been waiting to find out when he was going to plan the attack, but now Osmanian Devil's about to put the pressure on the Mercedes in front of him. In towards Discrete de Lago, and off the exit, as making their way through turn 5, up the hill towards Ferradura. Raptor is going to make his way through on James and Goose. In through Ferradura and turn 7, now we're into turn 8 we go, down the hill through 9. Now still a nice DRS train going on here. Pit stops for not for about another 10 laps and rear locking. And we got a lot of cars here. Who is that? That was LK with a rear lock. Got sideways. And I'm not sure if that damaged Bong it. No, but it damaged Comacopa and it damaged Silos. Both of them with that front wing damage. It's very unfortunate, as now Silos is going to have to go into pit lane and get this changed here, as there was a nice midfield going on, and down into the center S as we go. Bonge and LK side by side. Comacopa, Bonge gets loose on the exit of turn 2. Comacopa here riding without an end plate on the left hand side. Is still going to continue on with his racing. Osmanian Devil is 10th and a half off the back of Natural. As we're making our way through turn 8, down the hill in towards turn 9. Back up towards Bico de Pato. Osmanian Devil makes his way by on Natural. Comacopa is going to get by on LK as well. And Modern Tie, he is nearly half a second off the back of the Boomster, still following along on the medium tires versus the softs. Tasmanian Devil is a half a second or less off a peak hour. Not much really going on here. We got 4 cars going on through Ferradura and now into turn 8 as they're going to make their way down the hill. Silos has caught up to the back of GC Avenger, looking to make a move on him in towards the Street de Lago of turn 4. But he is not going to, I guess, so he's going to continue to follow along, maybe side by side there. We will jump on board with that battle here. As they side by side through Ferradura, and there goes Silos up into that P17 position. Got a lot of work to do to get himself back up the field. Tasmanian Devil's going to jump up a position here. LK is going to work his way back by Comacopa. Comacopa does have a damaged wing, so it is costing LK a lot of time in the middle sector. IRZ is going to work his way by Bonnet, but Raptor's right behind him as well in that P11 position. Just riding patiently. He's going to close up his back, watching this battle in front of him in towards the Street de Lago. And Raptor goes around the outside, and wow, Bonnet just goes real deep there into turn 4. Raptor really backs out of that break, and that was a fantastic shot of that corner of the Street de Lago. Oh boy, that was great driving by all drivers involved. I mean, I don't know how Raptor managed to keep that off of the Williams in front of him. The 2 Aston Martin battling side by side, and it looks like Matthew's going to get by Jody. Modern Tie under a half a second here, conserving, now burning down the start-finish straight down to the inside, looking to overtake into that P2 position. The Mercedes heads back up into P2, into the center S as we go. The question is, as the soft tires started to fall off, is there a crossover now? Comacopa around the outside of LK. He's going to get up into that P7 here as they're working their way through these center S's. Raptor KK as well got by Bonnet. Bonnet's going to continue to follow along. And it looks like Modern Tie is starting to look to open up a gap here, as they're working their way through turn 8 down the hill into 9. Natural's starting to catch up a little bit. He's about a second behind peak hour here. Closing up to try and build a 3-car battle between the Boomster and between Tasmanian Devil and peak hour. Still a midfield train here going on between about 5 cars. We got Comacopa leading it with LK. He's 8/10 behind now. IRZ is putting the pressure on the Haas. IRZ is going to go down the inside. Really low on the battery, but he's going to overtake down through the inside using the ERS to his advantage and overtakes the Haas into that P8 position. James and Goose, first car to dive in the pit lane off the soft tires. Think it might be a little early for that, but we'll find out shortly. Mr. Miller has overtaken both of the Aston Martins. Raptor with a big mistake through Ferradura, I'm assuming rear locking into turn 8. Dropped to P11 outside of the train in front of him now. Comacopa, no, that was Natural with a big mistake. He's dropping through the grid off the out to the Pico de Pato. And now he's in P11, back under his way in towards Juncow. The Boomster still fighting with Modern Tie. Modern Tie is starting to try and close the gap up. He's got about 4/10 that previous lap to LB the Goat as they're making the run down this straight in towards Juncow we go. And Modern Tie is still going to lead the way here between the Mercedes and Natural diving into pit lane. He's going to start the soft runners, I'm sure. through Ferradura. Modern Tide is really starting to find his pace. He's finding time there through Ferradura, down to 1.6 now through turn 8, and now through turn 9. Andrete unfortunately retired in pit lane through Pico de Pato, and here comes Modern Tide. Watch out, that Mercedes starting to find pace late here in the Grand Prix. Check on board. LB the Goat does have a lot of battery, gets a little bit of a tail slapper there off the exit of Juncal. But Modern Tide did not find any time on that previous lap. He actually, as a matter of fact, lost some time. And Andrete has left the session currently. LK here, IRZ's putting the pressure on Comacopa. He's going to open up the DRS lap. Burns the rest of that ERS, goes to the outside. And we're side by side going into the Senna S's. And it looks like IRZ. And oh, there goes the tail slapper for the Williams of Comacopa. And the DRS is open on LK. And he's going to be looking to possibly make a move into Discreto de Lago. No, he's not. Modern Tide has broken away from the Boomster there in P3. Aston Martin still continuously fighting each other. But you know what? While you're down there in P12 and P13, you might as well have a good time too, right? Absolutely. Matthew just all of a sudden lets his teammate back through. Not exactly sure what that's for. One second separating Modern Tide and the Boomster here for the second step on the podium. Modern Tide's losing a lot of time now to LB the Goat. Down to 2.6 second gap between the top two. Raptor worked his way past Bonget. They're down into Discreto de Lago. And now he's up into P9 as they're making their way through Ferradura. Into P9. A few mistakes from Raptor tonight, but still holding inside the top 10. So he's had some solid pace for himself here in the Grand Prix. Little three-car battle going on between IRZ, Comacopa, and LK here as they're making their way into turn 12 of Juncal. And off the exit we go. Back up the hill, making our run towards the start-finish straight on lap 15. Pit stops are going to be starting to roll in here shortly. Question is, when will the undercuts come? Modern Tide on the medium tires. You want to probably go about, well, I mean, if they're going to run soft, they're going to be probably looking about lap 20 or so, maybe 21 to 24. But in the meantime, off the exit of Ferradura we go. And Modern Tide down to 2.1, finding a half a second on LB the Goat there. Bonget and Coma Raptor going side by side through Discreto de Lago. And it looks like Bonget goes extremely deep once again as he's making his way off the exit of 4 now through Ferradura. Comacopa still chasing down the Red Bull in front of him. As they're making their way through turn 11 and 12. And the Boomster is going to be the first one to dive into pit lane. What does he go with here? He goes to, I'm assuming, 10-second penalty for LK. That's not good. That just hindered his race. I'm sure if he didn't get another time penalty, he would have been fine here. But the Boomster goes to mediums. So he was on soft tires. He went to mediums, looking to run to the end of the Grand Prix. So coming in about lap 16, so looking about 20 laps, so the other folks be coming in around lap 20. Some folks are diving into pit lane. Silos here making his way through, and he's chasing down some of these guys that he's battling with earlier. Bonnet goes extremely deep, or that might have been a lag, I'm not exactly sure, probably a lag. And the Boomster's fighting with Raptor here. The Boomster did box on a brand new set of medium tires right up to the rear diffuser of the McLaren as we make our way down the start finish straight. And it looks like Boomster wanted the outside. The McLaren covered him off, and Boomster threw the inside down the start finish straight into turn 1. And he's back up into P5, but he's got a couple more folks in front of him that do need a box. He is looking at a possible undercut here with the medium tires. It's just a matter if he can hold the pace all the way to the end. Raptor's losing off the back of the Boomster. He has not pitted yet. IRZ coming out of the pit lane. Is he going to come out in front of LK? Yes, he is. Is he going to cover him off? Indeed, he does. IRZ covers off LK. Next folks he needs to cover off is Comacopa here up in P4. The two leaders dived into pit lane, and Modern Tie takes out the braking marker. Barely gets under the speed limit. Does not get a time penalty here. As making our way through now. LB the Goat back out. Modern Tie back out. No penalties have to be served. Comacopa's going to dive in. Question is, what tires do these folks go on? And the Boomster is going to overtake Modern Tie. Out of pit lane. Yes, he does. Modern Tie has come out behind the Boomster. Bonnet with a new fastest lap. Modern Tie is going to come out on the hard tires. LB the Goat is on the hard tires. So now we got a 3-car battle here between LB the Goat, the Boomster, and Modern Tie. All your provisional leaders here making their way through turn 9. And up into Pico de Pato. The Boomster did get the undercut, so his tires are heated up, worn in a little bit, scuffed in. And now he's putting the pressure on through Juncal. Is the Boomster going to be looking to take the lead? No, LB the Goat is just pulled away down the start-finish straight in towards the Senna S's. And the Boomster on the softer compound tire between the two. Through the Senna S's off the exit of turn 3 of Curva del Sol. Heading towards the Discreta de Lago of turn 4 between the two. Matthew dives into pit lane. And it looks like Bongit's going to attempt to move around the outside of LK. But LK is going to be able to defend him off as they got IRZ right in front of him here. And the DRS flaps all open up heading down towards Discreta de Lago. LK down the inside, side by side into turn 4, goes over the inside curve. Going to slow Bonga down right behind him. Is Bonga going to be able to get any speed up towards Ferrer to attempt to move? No, he's not. Right behind, 2/10 back. In towards turn 8 we go. Off the exit towards Pico de Pato. And now down the hill of turn 11, the Boomster with the new fastest lap. And he's putting the pressure on Modern Tie here into turn 1. On LB the Goat through the Senna S's and now Curva del Sol. The Boomster with a 3-second time penalty. That's going to hinder him here big time at the end of the Grand Prix. So now Modern Tie needs to find a way to get the pace rolling here. Both on hard compound tires. Can he catch up, get within DRS, and continue to compete with the two in front? Okay, with a 3-second time penalty. I believe that's the second one. So I believe he has 15 seconds in time penalties now. Modern Tie is second and a half, making their way through turn 9. He only has 15 seconds to try and catch back up, get within the DRS, and start working his way back towards the provisional lead. As Osmanian Devil's still out here on these medium tires, making his way through, diving into pit lane. No, he's not. He wants to lead another lap here, but he is losing time to the leaders behind him. As they're coming across the start-finish straight, here goes the Boomster through the inside towards turn 1 to begin the center S's. Modern Tie is right behind, 1.8 seconds back now. Jump on the Comacopa, James and Goose here, and it looks like Comacopa is going to get by James and Goose. IRZ with a 3-second time penalty. Natural, I'm not sure what happened there. GC Ventures making his way down in towards turn 4. Silos has retired from the session. I totally did not see that. Raptor and Comacopa battling side by side through Discrete de Lago. Off the exit, heading up towards Ferradura. Is Comacopa going to look to hang it around the outside of the McLaren? And it looks like Raptor's going to defend him off in towards turn 8. Peak hour here, making his way down the start-finish straight. Across the line we go. And it looks like Peak Hour does overtake Mr. Miller into that P5 position. Battle side by side through Discrete de Lago. This battle side by side is going to allow Modern Tie to catch up, and indeed he gains 3/10, nearly 4/10. And LB the Goat's going to defend off the Boomster up the hill through Ferradura. In towards turn 8 we go. This is your provisional lead right here, as Osmanian Devils 5.3 seconds in front on the medium tires. Still running on the mediums, looking to go short on the soft. He's going to have 13 to 14 laps to attempt anything. And Modern Tie with a big mistake off the exit of Bico de Pato and in towards the outside wall. And he's got a damaged wing, unfortunately, so he is going to have to look to potentially get that replaced. But that will put him into a fight. Osmanian Devil dives into pit lane. The Boomster is now one-on-one versus LB the Goat. Can he find a way to put the pressure on, force LB the Goat into a big mistake? Modern Tie stays out. Bongit gets by LK as they're making their way up through Ferradura. Osmanian Devil is looking to fight with Mr. Miller here down through LB the Goat. Got overtaken by the Boomster. New fast lap by the Boomster, 108.5. Modern Tie is going to dive into pit lane and look to change that front wing, go for the fastest lap as well. Mr. Miller dives into pit lane as well. Peak Hour is into that P3 position. He is on the hard tires, I believe, from the beginning of the Grand Prix. Bongit and IRZ is going for a drifting lesson, and LK was able to avoid, and now Comacopa is going to come through, and here comes Raptor as well. LB the GOAT is falling outside of a second of DeBoonster. DeBoonster's looking to pull a gap and open up in his 10. No, DeBoonster only has a 3-second time penalty. This is the time to do it now while he's on the medium tires. Got to break out of the DRS though. LB the GOAT did not get DRS there, but he is closing up. Actually, he did get the DRS. Now he's really going to be closing up about a half a second going into the center S's. IRZ's 9/10 back, under a second of Raptor looking for that DRS. Is he going to be going for it? On board with LB the GOAT. Once again, DRS down in towards the Streeta del Lago. He's not going to attempt to move. He is going to continue to follow behind 3/10 back off the exit towards Ferradura. IRZ sitting 7/10 back here. Got the DRS to the McLaren in front of him, half a second back right now. He's not going to be able to make a move into the center as Jotty dives into pit lane. Going to jump back up here to the leaders. DeBoonster's not able to extend the gap on LB the GOAT in that P2 position. We got about 12 laps to go. Raptor and IRZ swapping positions. Modern Tide's going to work his way through as well. So Modern Tide's looking to put the pressure on Raptor here as they make their way through Ferradura up into turn 8. Got about 12 laps, so Modern Tide still has plenty of time to work his way back through the grid. Everybody's pretty relatively close at this point. So he's just got to be methodical and strategic about how he works through this grid here to get back up towards the front. Heading down the start-finish straight, Modern Tide closes up to the back of the McLaren in towards turn 1. Now through turn 2 we go. Down through Curva del Sol and heading towards the Streeta del Lago. Opens up the DRS flap. Modern Tide jumps to the outside. Down the start, or down this middle straight in towards turn 4. And off the exit he runs back up the hill towards Ferradura. Don't see you online, GT Adventure. Jotty does get by James and Goose as James and Goose dives into pit lane. I'll be the GOAT. Still 3/10 back from DeBoonster here. About 10 laps to go. Making our way down the start finish straight. Heading towards the Streeta del Lago. And it looks like I'll be the GOAT's going to be content just following along, knowing he has a 3-second time penalty in front of him. Osmanian Devil trying to catch up to the back of Peak Hour. He's 1 second back. Modern Tide with a new fastest lap of a 1:10.5 in clean air. Closing up to the back of Comacopa, 2 seconds back, or at the time being, give or take. Down this middle straight here, heading towards the Streeta del Lago. Osmanian Devil nearly within that 1 second of Peak Hour. Jotty with a new fastest lap of a 1:10.1. As Osmanian Devil begins to put that pressure on Peak Hour here, looking for the final step of the podium in through the Streeta del Lago. LB the GOAT still fighting with DeBoonster up at the front here, a half a second back, separating the two. Modern Tides 1.4 seconds back from Comacopa. We're riding on board with Modern Tie here. Less than a second, but Comacopa has caught LK. So Comacopa is going to get the DRS. The Tasmanian Devil's making his way by peak hour here down into Santa Esses of turn 1. Off the exit of turn 2. Now through Curva del Sol, nearly side by side, almost made contact between the two cars. DRS for the Alpine, down through the inside, heading towards the Street del Lago. Both cars, no penalties, off the exit of turn 4, plenty of space given. Heading up the hill towards Ferradura, and you see Tasmanian Devil blinking. Peak hour does go defensive there, and towards Ferradura makes a big mistake. And that allows Tasmanian Devil to close back up, but not enough time to get around. Here comes Comacopa though, fighting with LK and Modern Tie here as they're making their way through Ferradura and towards turn 8. LK with a big mistake, dropped down through the grid into P8. And it looks like Modern Tie has pulled away up into that P6. Next on his list is Bonget. He's got about 6 laps to do so. LB the Goat not making a move through the Scooter de Lago, but Tasmanian Devil and Peak Hour still fighting side by side through the Santa S is now Curva del Sol. Okay, into pit lane, down into the P11 position. As we carry our speed down into turn 9. Tasmanian Devil defending off Peak Hour here for the final step on the podium. Got about 6 laps to go. The Boomster does lose out to LB the Goat here into turn 1. RZ is caught right up to the back of a Raptor in front of him. Four-tenth separation between the final step of the podium and that P4 position. This will be the battle to keep an eye on here for the remainder of the Grand Prix. As long as these two stay near each other, we're going to have a fight all the way to the end. Not exactly sure if either one of them have any warnings. I would assume probably at least one apiece. 10-second penalty for Jody speeding into pit lane, retires from the session, gonna fall to the bottom of the grid. Lap 32 of 36. Your leaders are coming across, never mind, making their way up towards Ferradura. Tasmanian Devil's gonna work his way by Peak Hour. And LK with another 3-second time penalty. So really struggled race for him. But Osmania Devil and Peak Hour still fighting for that final step on the podium. The Boonster has not let LB the Go get out of his sight in case he makes a mistake. Really the closest battle on the grid besides IOZ looking to make the attack on Mr. Miller, but he's not going to be close enough to do so. Peak Hour is pretty close this time by. Gonna have the DRS. He's got that flap open to the outside. And I'm gonna say this might be the wrong time. Actually, it might be a good time to make that move. It's a nice little silence there to enjoy the sounds of the cars as they drive by. But the Boonster's looking to put the pressure here on the penultimate lap on the LB the Goat here. As they're looking to lap another car. Tasmanian Devil and Peak Hour. 0.4 of a second separation. Down in towards turn 1 as we begin the penultimate lap for them. Still no time penalties awarded, so it's a fair fight for that final step on the podium. And Modern Tide makes his way by Bonget as Bonget makes a mistake. Off the exit, we have begun the final lap. The Boonster's gonna get the DRS. Peak Hour's got the DRS on Osmania Devils, closed right up to the back of him. Gonna burn the rest of the battery compared to Osmania Devil. They're both about even on battery here. Down into turn 1 of the Senna S's. Almost side by side into the braking zone. Goes a little deep for Peak Hour. Side by side through Curva del Sol. Who's gonna get the DRS here as they make their way? And it looks like Osmania Devil has the DRS off the exit of the Senna S's. And he is gonna hang on to that P3 position as they're making their way through Discrete de Lago. And now through turn 11 for your race leaders into Juncal one more time. Off the exit we go. LB the Goat in that Red Bull has led from the very beginning of the race. I mean, not really, because the Boonster was kind of fighting with him all race as well. The Boonster's led some laps, and there you have it. LB the Goat at the top of the leaderboard for the victory. Osmanian Devil and Peak Hour still fighting. Is Peak Hour going to get a good run off the exit here? No, he gets a little loose as they're making their way towards the start-finish line. He's going to burn. He's going to get the DRS. Still not close enough. Maybe he might get a run here towards the line. And no, 85 thousandths of a second off Modern Tie comes home in P5. Comacopa in P6. Here he comes across the line. Raptor making his way towards the start-finish line. There you have it. Matthew's going to come home in P10, bring it down to 11th. LK's making his way towards the line. Where's he going to finish? He will finish across the line as well. Well, there you have it, folks. LB the Goat takes home your victory. The Boonster in second. Osmania the Devil third. Peak Hour fourth. Modern Tie fifth. Comacopa sixth. Raptor seventh. Mr. Miller eighth. IRZ ninth. Matthew rounds out your top 10. Bonga 11th. LK 12th. 13th is Natural. 14th is James and Goose. GC Adventure is 15th. Jotty 16th. CeeLo 17th. 18th is Onyote. Well, folks, I am the Johnny Damon. That was a fantastic Grand Prix by your Pro Tier. In the meantime, tune in next week as they will be taking on the wonderful Monaco circuit. I look forward to calling the action possibly. In the meantime, I hope you all have a great night, and I will see you next Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern.